Okay, so at approximately 2:03 this morning, deputies got behind an RV which came back stolen out of Flagler County. That was confirmed. They attempted multiple traffic stops, at which time the RV accelerated. At some point, it started to drive erratically, even going opposite against traffic, and that's when they decided to utilize the stop sticks. The stop sticks were successful, and the vehicle came to a stop just north of Lake Louisa Park in Claremont.
Now, if this is stolen out of Flagler, we're talking 100 miles, right?
Right, it's a pretty good distance. And so once we confirmed it, and that's what we want to know what was going on with this, when the vehicle came to a stop, they attempted to make contact with the driver. They were unsuccessful in doing this. The driver would not respond. We tried phone calls to the driver. I believe it was Alachua County received an anonymous phone call that a driver in an RV said that he was surrounded by law enforcement and that he was overdosing. And so with that information, the SWAT team did breach the vehicle, at which time they found the subject dead.
And is that the cut we're seeing on the side of the vehicle there?
That is, yeah.
How many people were inside the RV?
There was only one person inside the RV.
Age range?
A white male, approximately 27 to maybe mid-30s.
Did he say anything to you guys while he was barricading himself in the RV?
No, we made no contact. There was no verbal back and forth with him. He would not answer us.
We heard neighbors describing some loud noises, what they thought were some popping. Can you confirm if any shots were fired?
Yeah, no shots were fired. The popping they probably heard was the breaching by the SWAT team to get inside the vehicle.
So when you guys found him dead, what was he dead of? Was it a fracture drug overdose?
Well, we can't confirm that. That's something that the medical examiner's office is going to have to confirm. But preliminary, that's what it looks like it may be.
Yeah, you didn't see any like wounds.
Yeah, there are no wounds to the person's body. I can tell you there was no shots fired from our deputies as well.
Now what happens next?
What happens next is we're waiting for the medical examiner's office to get here. The next of kin will be notified, and we're just trying to get to the bottom of it. You know, why was he the person that stole the vehicle? Try to identify him, and unfortunately, it ended this way.
I'm just curious, why did the call go to Alachua County?
Yeah, that's what we don't know. We don't know if it was just a phone thing. Maybe the caller, maybe he called that person in Alachua County, and that person called Alachua County. That's the only thing we can assume that happened.
And that's when he said he was overdosing, right?
Correct.
How long ago was the RV reported stolen?
It's been a couple weeks, my understanding. I don't have a specific date on it.
You guys said that you guys tried to reach him by calling him?
I guess patching through the number that we had, but you know, we do have an idea of who he is, but until we confirm that, we can't identify his name yet, let his name out.
So you said he was driving in the wrong way?
At one point, he did cross traffic, and he was driving against traffic, and that's why we knew it was very necessary. You see the size of that vehicle. We could be working a whole nother scene right now, so it was imperative that we got that vehicle stopped.
So you guys closed down 27 for a couple hours. It's fully open now?
It's fully open, both directions.
And can you categorize the chase? Was it technically considered a pursuit, or it sounds like lives were in jeopardy?
Right, and it would be considered a pursuit because of the way he was driving erratically. You know, he tried to accelerate. Even after he came to a stop, there's no wheels on that vehicle. He was still trying to leave. He continued to try to leave. And so yeah, it's one of those things that's very dangerous. You know, we will look at the whole situation and make sure that everything was within policy. But from this perspective, it looks like everything wasn't within policy.
Can you confirm how long SWAT was on scene before they made entry into the RV?
I can't confirm that. They made entry when we received information about the phone call that he may be ODing, you know, and so that's when they thought it was imperative they do get into the vehicle and try to save him if that was the case.
What was SWAT's function, I guess, before you got the phone call? What was SWAT doing? Were they like strategically, tactically positioned, or?
Well, we had hostage negotiators en route as well as SWAT. And here's the thing, when you have a situation like that, we don't know if a person's armed. You know, would he start shooting? And so you want to have all available resources here in case something like that does happen.
Was there any indication inside the vehicle, or you guys said you kind of have an idea of who he is? Was there any indication that he was actually really going to kill himself, or possible reason why he was going to kill himself, or is it just the RV being stolen?
Well, right now we have is a stolen RV. We have that phone call from an anonymous source. And what we do have right now, we do have CSI en route, and hopefully they're able to gather some answers from that as well.
So there's no guns in the vehicle, there's no drugs. I mean, there's got to be some rhyme or reason why he stole it and why he killed himself.
Right. Preliminary, we didn't see any guns. We haven't found any firearms within the vehicle. You know, you're right. There should be a reason why, and it may take some time to find out the why. Hopefully, we make contact with that person who he called, and we can get more answers from there.
So the anonymous call was who? Someone that the man inside called?
It appears to be someone that he called, someone that he was familiar with. It was a female, from what I understand. Not sure if it was his girlfriend or sister, whatever the case may be.
Just confirm, Fred, this vehicle was stolen a couple of weeks ago, so it's not like this was ripped off last night.
No, right. And a lot of times, you know, we do have those situations where a vehicle is stolen. A lot of times these vehicles are recovered just driving through traffic, you know, and so they make an erratic turn, or they, you know, violate some kind of traffic law, and that's how we make those stops. But yeah, evidently he's been driving around maybe for a couple weeks. We don't even know if he's the one who stole it. Did he get it from someone? You know, so those are answers we're looking for.
Do you know how long where the chase started, how long it was until he came to a stop here?
Yep, it started at 2:03 this morning at Citrus Boulevard and MLK in Leesburg.
That far?
Yeah, it's a pretty good distance, yeah.
And it ended roughly clear, obviously, but around what time did it come to a rest here?
That's a good question. I do not know exact time on that there.
And just to clarify, the person inside the vehicle died by suicide, it appears?
Yeah, that's what we're assuming right now. But what's going to happen is the medical examiner's office will come. Yep, and the toxicology report, there's a lot that goes into that to say for sure.
Any self-inflicted wounds, like anything?
Right.
Anything obvious?
There's nothing obvious. There's no obvious, you know, gunshot wound or anything of that nature. We're pretty sure, but we are sure that there was no gunshot within or outside of the vehicle. So.
So the sounds that were heard by the neighborhood nearby were your SWAT team breaching just
Yeah, that was a SWAT team breaching. There was no shots fired. And here's the thing, you know, unfortunately, you know, in all my years of doing this, I've seen sometimes people just don't want to go to jail, you know, and unfortunately they take that route not to go to jail.
Sounds like he's been on vacation for 2 weeks driving an RV around. It doesn't seem like this.
No, but, you know, like I said, once, you know, if we get behind a vehicle and something seems out of place and we run that tag and it comes back confirmed, you know, people make bad decisions after that. Instead of just stopping and saying, hey, I'm going to jail, you know, and if there is drugs involved, then there was no rational decision making going on there.
I know you guys are still trying to identify this person, but do we believe that he has prior run-ins with law enforcement? Is this person ever criminal history?
Yeah, there's no way until we're able to identify him and go from there and run the history. But I will tell you this, if he was the one who stole the vehicle, that's usually not a person's first rodeo to something like that.
Yes, anyway, starting out the gate stealing an RV seems a little odd.
Right, right.
Yeah, no hope. What caused you guys to want to pull him over to begin with before you got random tags? Was he driving?
Right. I will have to look into that. Most likely it was a traffic violation. I don't know if it was he crossed the line, he didn't stop at a traffic light, but that's something that would be in the entire incident report that will go out later on.
And are you guys going to be the primary? It sounds like this is spanning, what, 5 different counties?
Right.
You guys handling the entirety of the investigation?
Right. It started in our jurisdiction, and so once it starts in our jurisdiction, we usually take over, and it will be our case.
Do you know if he's a resident of Lake County or Cosmo County?
Yeah, we do not. My understanding is they haven't found any ID on him yet, so we don't know exactly where he's from.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.